So we had an incident this weekend with some officer assaults by an inmate, and what happened?
Basically, we had an inmate on Saturday. They had clothing up on the rails, and that's part of our cleanliness of the facility is not having anything hanging on the rails. It also blocks the officer's views of the inmates. The officer asked him to remove his clothing, and he refused, so she went out there to remove them herself. And when we do that as contraband, she was taking it down. He come and tried to snatch them from her. She held her ground and told him no, it would be put into his property. He got mad, went back to his room, took a cup, went into a toilet where he'd used the restroom and I flushed it, and came running back down and threw that into her face. She had her taser out, but she maintained her cool because he immediately took off running back. So she went ahead and stepped out of the building, got everything secured, called for another officer, and her and the other also went up there and secured him and removed him and took him to a lockdown part of the facility. So the problem with our lockdown part of our facility, though, and what causes so much risk is it's all bars. We have only one small section of this jail that actually has solid doors. So we only have bars in there, which means even when you're dealing with inmates, there's always room for them to do something. Sunday, the sergeant went in there to take paperwork, wanted to show the inmate what he was charged with on Saturday, which is procedure. And all he did was walked up to the bars, handed it to the inmate through the bars, the same inmate, and then he took feces that he had stuck inside of a cup and quickly threw that on the officer. It got on the side of his face and everything. And he once again also retreated without retaliating against the inmate, maintained his cool and professionalism, and exited the room.
The bar system that we have is just inadequate. I mean, it certainly doesn't protect the employees from assault.
Correct. It's a very antiquated system.
37-year-old jail.
Correct. And there's nowhere inside this facility where officers can walk without inmates being able to reach them. They can't even go from their starting point up front to their tower without inmates being able to reach right through bars and grab them, throw things if they chose to.
The bars don't offer any real lockdown, so this inmate who's assaulted two officers is wanted for murder or in jail for murder still has the ability to reach out and touch an officer or to assault an officer or throw feces or urine. Lockdown would be for inmate discipline or classification. If you got multiple defendants in a violent crime or in a gang case, we've got to keep those folks separate, and we just don't have adequate facilities to do that, which is, I guess, why we're housing out folks to 4 or 5 other county jails throughout the state. And how many people are we short in the detention center? How many detention officers are we short?
Well, right now we're short 5 officers. We need 5 more officers.
We're obviously having to pay out a lot of overtime because of the shortages. And then when you have incidences like this, it's just harder to hire, attract, train, and retain good qualified people when you're having urine and feces thrown on you, or you're being assaulted by folks who are in here for violent crime who have no other, or feel like they have no way out, so they just choose to do this kind of thing. What's our average daily population?
Average right now, we're running about 110 inmates in here. And of those 100...
Without anybody sleeping on the floor?
Correct.
We're a little different than some facilities in that the majority of the folks in our facilities are Burke County residents.
80-90% of our people in here are all Burke County residents, local citizens.
This jail is 37 years old. I've studied this, and we're in a 12-county area. We're the only ones with a facility 37 years old. If you look at Jenkins, Jefferson, Washington, Emmanuel, Scriven, Richmond, Columbia, Barnwell, they all have Aiken, newer or updated facilities. We're the only one with a detention facility 37 plus years old.
Yes.
One final point to the community is to underscore the fact that as your elected sheriff, it is my duty and responsibility, my constitutional duty, to keep inmates safe, to keep our employees safe. But I want you to understand, I am a tenant. The county government is the owner of this building. They're the landlord, I'm the tenant. I simply rent from them. The law makes it very clear that the sheriff cannot own any property. I have exclusive use of property that is under my command, but the county government owns the property. It's their job to fix the mildewed showers, the leaky roofs, the bars in the jail, the locks that don't work. All of that is the responsibility of the county. I have begged them to do it. We're still waiting on a court order from a judge from a case that we had tried in November of 2025. I need some relief. Tell them to come and fix the building that they own. Thank you.